Okay guys, wanted to show you this. Say we're doing a drawing and you want to add lettering to this. Well, how do we do that? I mean, we've got our drawing done. It looks pretty cool, but we want to add a saying or something that's going to be kind of awesome. And so I'll just kind of finish this up here real quick. And she's a 1930s airplane pilot. So what do you think? What saying do you think would go with a 1930s airplane pilot? So I'm just going to grab one of my own making. Well, it's not of my own making. I mean, yeah, everything is there, but I'm going to actually do sky's the limit. So here's my thing right here. So what I've done is I've kind of put it on here. I want to put it. I can see where she's at. I want to put it toward the bottom. I want to center it. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to tape that down. Okay. Now, because I've taped that down, I know where I want it. I can lift this one out of the way. And I can take this right here, slide this in there, and now I can come in here and I can put the lettering in here however I want. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on camera. And then what I'll do is I'll do this in red lettering. So what this does is then this will stand out over above the sketch. Now the reason why I want to do this with the sketch now and wait instead of waiting for it to be done, because that way then I can keep my area here on her light, and it makes it easier to, sorry, I'm trying to concentrate here, makes it easier to distinguish where my lettering is at and the image is at. The other way would do it would be to do the drawing and then run it through a printer with the image across there. So you want to be a little careful with your lettering to make sure it's nice and crisp. So it looks good. I'm just going to slide this up here. So this is kind of like something fun you can do. You can edit a lot of stuff, and you know, you can put everything in there. Now typically also what I do is I probably wouldn't use, typically I would use a pencil with a very fine lead to do this so the lines are even tighter. But for our purposes, this is going to be done with a red pencil. So after the sketch is done, then I'll go in here with colored pencil or even a red marker and try to do it as close as possible. And this guarantees me though that what I'm writing comes across there. And I'll hone this, I'll actually, you know, redo it with a pencil over top so I have it kind of really specific. So I do this, I do the lettering in a Word, size it in Word, everything's done in Word. And then I go back in and print it to scale. So all these things that you see me doing here, we all can do. It's not too complicated. And this will probably be the only time you'll see me go in and refine my sketch down. Um, and does anybody want to know what the sky's the limit means? It's an old saying. So, you know, and all these things I'm doing are just things everybody can do. And if you miss a part, guess what? You can always go back and fix it. Okay, so let me see if I got it. Okay, so now what I'll do, because I like that right there, it has a kind of a nice feeling, I can pull, let me see here if I got it all. Yeah, I can pull it up. Okay, now all of a sudden, now I've got, not only do I have my image, but I got a graphic pencil mark on there. So hang on a second, okay? Okay, so I got my pencil, and I just want to go in. I want to tighten these lines up. And it really just depends on what you want to do with it. But by tightening it up, it just makes it look more graphic and more and just more. So you see what I'm doing? I'm just kind of going here, straightening up lines. There we go. There. And I can clean up some of these lines here. Doesn't matter how you do it. You just don't want to, you want to make sure that these lines here are nice and clean and graphic. Okay? We'll do some of this in class. So now, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but it actually works really nicely with what I'm trying to accomplish. And on top of that, I can also perfect it. I can perfect it a little more when I go back into the drawing stage. So you can kind of see that lettering across there. So this is how, you know, we used to do it when I was, because we just had printers, but we also had transferring abilities and stuff like that, graphite paper, same stuff we're using here in class. And so it's just, we just got better at laying this stuff out. So and you can change, the dynamics always change too. So and if you can get things straight and clean, that's even better. Tell them to do that. You tell them you do this lettering by hand, and it just kind of freaks people out because they're going, "Well, I don't know how you do that." And calligraphy is another really fine art that takes a while to really hone the skill, but it looks really cool when you're all said and done. Now, one thing I'll do when I'm all said and done with this, so I don't mess up the lettering or the sketch, I will actually go in and take a tracing paper or something, lay that over top, so then I can protect the drawing as I'm reworking this lettering. So anyway, this is just a short video on so there you go. So then the mat board, when you see this picture, will be like this. So has a graphic quality, looks really good. I can pull that down the bottom, get all of her helmet in there. So yeah, this is ready to go. So anyway, I'll show you how we start that. But at first I want to make sure I've got as much information as down here as possible before I start. And I don't care about this now because I got that down. And I've done this dark enough to where I won't have to worry about graphite. You know, I can shade and this is still going to stand out. And that's what I want because I want to do this in red lettering. I want red lettering in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. See what I got. I've got everything. Not quite. I can change things pretty much how I want. Yeah, get those in. For some reason you really see these eyelashes down here. It looks really weird when you're doing this too because you're not, yeah, it is. Okay. For some reason I got heavier line here than I really wanted, but that's okay. Some of these things you'll do and you'll just go, oh, okay, I can see this. So I am going to come here. Keep that. Now I am doing it with a pencil, so you know, she's got a really fine look about her. Okay. Now, typically I wouldn't put all this information in, but I'm kind of doing it for you guys so you can kind of see that you always want to make sure you have more information down than you're actually going to use, because in the end of it, you're not going to have this down. You're going to use it as a reference toward I can kind of see some of the shading. See some of it here. I can see a little bit of it here. These things are kind of important because when you're doing the little nuances in the picture, you want to make sure that you've got as much like I said, as much information as possible in there to really give it oomph. Make sure that's there. And you try to keep it as clean as possible too, so not very many marks. So on this one here, I'll try to be real careful of my area out here outside the drawing, because that is right there, just kind of like, you know, I might just leave this all white. I'm really liking this, but there's a lot of white here, so I am going to have to take that background down. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this good. I'm going to do this one more time. So the sky's the limit is what the name of this picture is going to be. Okay, so this is going to be our next step as toward really identifying our imagery, what we're doing, how we're doing it, and actually adding a little bit of personal touch there to the image. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started on this. And it's 11:21, so yeah, there you go. Teacher out.